911 emergency.
Now listen carefully, okay? Pump the chest hard and fast.
Hello, 911.
I'm David Schuster in New York. We follow the breaking news involving pop star Michael Jackson, and there's every indication at this hour that the news is very serious. According to a number of reports, including the Los Angeles Times, Michael Jackson was taken to the UCLA Medical Center.
This is hard. My brother, the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m.
Today, we will talk about the last days, death and grave of the legendary singer, Michael Jackson. And I will bring you to the location where he passed away and to his final resting place at Forest Lawn Cemetery. Find out what really happened and journey back in time to hear details surrounding the events. Michael Jackson was an iconic singer who was born in Gary, Indiana, and started singing at a young age with the Jackson 5. He was born on August 29, 1958, and passed away on June 25, 2009. Known as the King of Pop, he's regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. Now, let's talk about his final days, and we will discuss the day before he died. On June 24, 2009, Michael was in rehearsals for his final This Is It comeback tour. Nothing seemed amiss that day at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, with fellow performers stating that he appeared in top form. The rehearsal even went on past midnight. Afterward, the Billie Jean singer still found the time to greet fans that gathered outside the gate of his mansion on North Carrollwood Drive in the Holmby Hills. Problems began when, after arriving home, he complained of fatigue and insomnia. On that morning, Michael Jackson's physician, Conrad Murray, gave Jackson a series of drugs over the course of the early hours to help him sleep. Concern was raised later when Michael failed to leave his room. Murray found the star unresponsive and not breathing, though he claimed he still had a weak pulse. He attempted to revive Jackson, though statements have questioned his CPR technique and the fact he chose to do it on a soft bed rather than a hard surface. Questions also arose regarding the time it took Murray to get help. Notably, there was no landline phone in the residence, and Murray stated he didn't know the address well enough to call paramedics by mobile. As a result, 30 minutes passed before security at the North Carrollwood Drive property eventually made the call to paramedics.
Carrollwood Drive, yes.
Okay, sir, what's the phone number you're calling from? Okay, sir, and what's the problem exactly what happened?
Sir, we have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not.
Okay. Okay, how old is he?
He's 50 years old, sir.
50, okay. He's unconscious, he's not breathing?
Yes, he's not breathing, sir.
Okay, and he's not conscious either?
No, he's not conscious, sir.
Okay. All right, do you have him? Is he on the floor? Where's he at right now?
He's on the bed, sir. He's on the bed.
Okay, let's get him on the floor.
Okay.
Okay, let's get him down to the floor.
Paramedics received a 911 call at 12:22 p.m. Pacific Time and arrived 3 minutes later. Emergency services performed CPR there for 42 minutes before rushing Jackson to the hospital. Here, emergency services attempted to resuscitate Jackson. After over an hour, the star was pronounced dead. On June 25, 2009, less than 3 weeks before his concert residency was due to begin in London, with all concerts sold out, Jackson died from cardiac arrest, caused by a propofol and benzodiazepine overdose. Murray had administered propofol, lorazepam, and midazolam. His death was caused by a propofol overdose. Murray was later charged and convicted for this. I will take you and show you this house where he passed away. Jackson's death took place right here, in this home, in Los Angeles. Jackson was not breathing, and CPR was performed. Resuscitation efforts continued en route to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, but Jackson was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. Pacific Time.
We're getting some breaking news coming into the situation right now from about Michael Jackson, the king of pop, who's 50 years old. Let's go to Deborah Farrick. She's working the story for us. What are we picking up, Deb?
Well, Wolf, here's what we can tell you. This is what's being reported by KTLA. Apparently, Michael Jackson suffered cardiac arrest this afternoon. He was rushed to UCLA Medical Center.
At 12:21 this afternoon, the Los Angeles 911 operators took a call in regards to a need for a medical emergency at the 100 block of Candlewood Drive, which is in West Los Angeles. When the paramedics got on scene, they treated the patient and then immediately transported the patient to UCLA.
We just talked to Brian Oxman. He is the family attorney for the Jackson, and he says that according to Randy Jackson, Michael Jackson's brother, Michael Jackson collapsed in his home in West Los Angeles this morning.
News of his death spread quickly online, causing websites to slow down and crash from user overload, and putting unprecedented strain on services and websites including Google, AOL Instant Messenger, Twitter, and Wikipedia. The mystery of where Jackson would be buried became a media obsession in the weeks after his death. After his body was loaded onto a helicopter at UCLA's Ronald Reagan Medical Center, hours after his June 25th death, it stayed in the custody of the Los Angeles County coroner for an autopsy. It was only later disclosed that Jackson's corpse was kept in a refrigerated room at the Holmby Hills Forest Lawn Cemetery until his casket was carried by motorcade to downtown Los Angeles for a public memorial service in the Staples Center Arena. This takes us to the memorial service. Jackson's memorial was held on July 7, 2009, at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, preceded by a private family service at Forest Lawn Memorial Park's Hall of Liberty. Over 1.6 million fans applied for tickets to the memorial. The 8,150 recipients were drawn at random, and each received 2 tickets. The memorial service was one of the most watched events in streaming history, with an estimated U.S. audience of 31.1 million and a worldwide audience of an estimated 2.5 to 3 billion. Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Jennifer Hudson performed at the memorial, and Smokey Robinson and Queen Latifah gave eulogies. Al Sharpton received a standing ovation with cheers when he told Jackson's children, "Wasn't nothing strange about your daddy. It was strange what your daddy had to deal with, but he dealt with it anyway."
And I want his 3 children to know, wasn't nothing strange about your daddy. It was strange what your daddy had to deal with, but he dealt with it.
Jackson's 11-year-old daughter, Paris Catherine, speaking publicly for the first time, wept as she addressed the crowd. Lucius Smith provided a closing prayer. Let's now talk about his final resting place at Forest Lawn. On September 3, 2009, the body of Jackson was entombed at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Following his death, the grieving Jackson family feared his body would be dug up or damaged, so they went to great lengths to preserve him. The singer was dressed in full stage costume, including a wig and full face of makeup, and even his iconic white gloves. Jackson's brother Marlon, 52, said at the time, "This will be Michael's final curtain call, the last show. His shell will be gone, but his spirit lives on." But the family were concerned about thieves who would attempt to loot the grave. His body was buried in a gold coffin set in concrete. Notes saying, "Daddy, we love you, we miss you," written by Jackson's children, were placed on the coffin before it was buried. CCTV cameras were installed and linked with sensors, which activate an alarm to warn security guards of any intruders. He was interred in the Great Mausoleum, Holly Terrace, Sanctuary of Ascension. This mausoleum is private and locked to the general public. Take a look at these photos inside the Great Mausoleum. Now, for the aftermath of his death. In August 2009, the Los Angeles County coroner ruled that Jackson's death was a homicide. Law enforcement officials charged Murray with involuntary manslaughter on February 8, 2010. In late 2011, he was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and held without bail to await sentencing. Murray was sentenced to 4 years in prison. This has been the story of the last days and final resting place of Michael Jackson. Thanks for coming along today. Hit that subscribe and like button to follow our channel.
He's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we need to.
911 emergency.